coming back to their consciousness, sir.
Did you poison the food supply?
Yes, sir. There's no mineral left in the soil.
Are you feeding them negativity on the news?
Yes, sir. War and death.
Social media?
Yes, sir. Gender wars.
Damn.
Racism. It's not enough. They keep coming back. What do we do?
We need to lower their immune systems.
I thought we did that already with the virus, sir. What else can we do?
More poison. We'll put more poison in the crop field.
We used all the
We'll
poison.
poison the animals. And then tell them to eat the animals.
This is why you're our leader, sir.
The poison in the animals. Train doctors to not address the cause.
I see where you're going.
But only
the symptom. So they get treated
forever and eventually die. And we still get the money.
Sir, what about the people that have found cures for these diseases and are trying to help other people cure these
We'll make it punishable by law to say you can cure disease.
What about the people that know the truth about COVID?
Punishable by law to spread misinformation about COVID.
But sir, that's free speech. We can't pass a law like that.
Social media to take down people that don't say the word.
All I can say.
Now, when you're talking about quantum physics, metaphysics, mind science, technology, it works in tandem with your metaphysical abilities, because when you have the velocity of non-ether collaborating with the carbon body, that's when your spiritual abilities start to come online. Since we're in the sun cycle, and the sun cycle is being galvanized by an influx of coronal mass ejections. So this is where you get telekinesis, psychometry, clairvoyance, intuition. This is where you begin to have abilities of levitation if you're tapped into a certain frequency. So it's not a coincidence that this man in...
If you want to wonder why black people vote for droves and Democrats, it's because the textbooks make you think that LBJ, because he literally was the person who signed, the Civil Rights Act, but they don't contextualize that. They don't tell you that LBJ was an avowed racist. He was essentially forced to sign it because there were riots. He was angry about having to sign it and came up with a plan that he would, quote unquote, have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And that plan was welfarism, the Great Society Act. You don't learn that. A Democrat signed the Civil Rights Bill and you got all of your rights. It's very, here are the villains, here are the heroes. So
they rewrote their story.
Yeah.
Genius.
It is genius.
You got to respect the move, right? My mom used to always say, think like a snake, be pure as a dove. Mm-hmm. So you got to know how deep they'll take it. And what they do is they'll beat the living crap out of you mentally, physically, emotionally. And then they'll say, we were the ones that took care of you. Right. And you'll be like, no. But if you say that many, many times in different variations, you'll somewhat be like, okay. It's kind of like when you're in a bad relationship. When somebody's like that you love will tell you the good things to confuse you, but his actions to everybody else will be like, bro, that guy doesn't love you.
See, the thing about us, we ain't never been no bitches, man. Like, none of us. I don't care what tribe you represent. They call them gangs now because they was infiltrated by people that look like us. But in the beginning, all the gangs originated out the 50s and the 60s during the civil rights movement, man. Every gang, Crips, Bloods, GDs, BDs, Vice Lords, Latin Kings, all these gangs, man, we wasn't killing each other. Gangs wasn't killing each other. They wasn't even gangs. They was organizations designed to protect the fucking community, man. But what did they do? They killed all the leaders, right? Or locked them up. And then pushed drugs into the community in the 80s and turned all the organizations that was designed to protect our communities against each other. So yeah, when the 90s hit, now of course they was gangs. They turned into gangs in the 90s. That's what gang banging really came about. A lot of the youth, y'all don't know that, because y'all in the streets right now. 99 to 2011 was my era in the streets. I got locked up, did 6 years on a first degree attempt murder in Chicago. You feel me? And I ain't even been out 6 years. You feel me? So I know what it comes to. I know how when we are natural warriors at soul, they use our chi and our life force to make us kill each other. So you're not listening to somebody that ain't from the streets. I'm really from the streets. One of Larry Hoover's finest. You feel me? I'll never denounce, what tribe I ran under. For the rest of my days, I'm always represent big G's and D's. Just like I'm an Ananuki god. I don't support what these movements have become. I don't support, Tukey Williams wasn't for none of this bullshit that the Crips was doing, man. The leader of the Bloods didn't represent none of this shit the Bloods be doing. Larry Hoover ain't on none of this shit these niggas that say they GDs be doing, killing each other. That ain't growth and development. That ain't the struggle. Our struggle for educational, economical, political, and social development. That's the struggle. You feel me? The brothers that created the Vice Lords, they wasn't for killing each other. Vice Lords really meant to become the lord of your vices, of your weaknesses, the master self-mastery. I always speak about the Latin Kings, the God that created the kings. He wasn't with killing each other. They Latin kings and Latin queens. They understood the power that came with that carbon when they was calling themselves Latinos. The Latinos and the black race, we won. We the original guys. It's our land. Before it was gangs, they called us Navajo and Cherokee and Choctaw and Mississippian tribes and the Illinois Confederacy, and we've been tribal. Why do you think? Once again, with Larry Hoover, he has direct roots to the Mississippians, man. One of the most powerful tribes on the land right now. They come off this land. Feel me? He got direct lineage. Larry Hoover. You know, that's why they don't want to free him. That man in jail and all type of murders and drug conspiracies got put on him that he ain't had nothing to do with. Feel me? They infiltrated that. They did the same thing with Jeff Ford. Black P. Stones in Chicago, man, they was running neck and neck with the Black Panthers. Jeff Ford and Fred Hampton was on there with the police in Chicago. You feel me? They tried to put the Black Panthers and the Black P. Stones against each other. You feel me? I'm giving y'all real history.
Do you believe the earth is flat?
I know the earth is flat.
Seriously?
Astrology and flat earth or true earth are symbiotic. You cannot have one without the other. If you have a ball and you are spinning, flying through space, chasing this fireball, your constellations would change every now and then. And our constellations have never changed. The stars have never changed. We have the same 12 zodiac signs that we had back in the Dendera stones in Egypt over 5,000 years ago. We're not moving. Every single ancient society knew this. The Mayans, the Aztecs, the Hindus, the Egyptians, every single ancient culture knew that we live in a geocentric universe, not a heliocentric, where we are spinning, chasing this ball of fire while all of these other planets are rotating around us, while all of these other stars are rotating around us. If that was the case, Polaris would move, number one, which is the North Star, and it doesn't. Number two, all of the constellations would not rotate solely around Polaris, but they do. Therefore, we are the center of the universe. Believing in the Big Bang Theory is something that is very common today, where people think, we're the product of an accident and that, we don't have a creator. We're just here to consume and live our best life and not live up to our potential. But if you're the center of the universe, that means that you're very special. That means that you have a creator who is very conscious and cares about you. And when you see yourself as being watched by these heavenly bodies above you 24/7, you start to take your life a little bit more seriously.
Give me a movie on the black man who really invented the airplane, not the white man fresh out of slavery. Tyler Perry has the potential to go down in history as one of the most influential black entertainers of all time if he begins to put out culturally affirmative content for black people. I'm waiting for Tyler Perry to put out a black channel for black kids with nothing but positive cartoons and movies. You feel me? I wait for Tyler Perry to give me a movie on Marcus Garvey. Give me a movie on the Haitian Revolution. Give me a movie on Queen Mother Fannie Lou Hamer. Give me a movie on Lewis Latimer, the black man who taught the world how to light up the city at night. Don't keep giving me Medea and broken relationships. I think Tyler Perry's issue is, my brother, he knows Medea gonna make that money. And I believe he owes some unpaid bills on that movie studio. So where Tyler Perry is sitting, and this is why I don't want to be too hard on him, I know he got to make that money to pay them bills.
You understand politics, you think you understand political parties, you're all full of crap, you don't know what the Illuminati is, if you're Republican or you're Democrat, you're wrong! Why? It's this easy, it's called divide and conquer. That's why there's two parties and only two. And they're controlled by the same people at the very top who belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group, they also belong to the Trilateral Commission, and you people don't even know what the hell that is. But if you did know, you would know that these are the people that control your world by making global policies that you never vote on, and by which parties both serve and belong to these organizations that control your world. Now, here's how it works. Really easy. Divide and conquer can only work if the people that are divided are not aware of the falsely created division. If you're not aware of it, then it works. If you know about it, then it don't work no more. If you have socialism without capitalism, it becomes communism. If you have capitalism without socialism, it becomes fascism. And it's just that easy. That's all you need to know. That's why Masonic symbols are all over your freaking money. But you don't pay attention. Ridiculous.
Why do you think they killed him? You think they killed him because he killed his people? Hell no. They killed him because, listen to me real good, you touched my nerve with that question. Did you know that in Libya, nobody's homeless? Listen, everybody in Libya has either a home or an apartment. They call it a flat. Did you know education in Libya is free? From kindergarten through college? And did you know that if a Libyan wanted to come to America to be educated, the government in Libya paid for their education? Did you know that? I was there when he opened a $500 million hospital with 18 theaters for operation. I was there, and we went when he was making their own medicines. See? This was a man that gave free medical attention to all the citizens of Libya. And if Libya did not offer that kind of medical attention, they could fly anywhere in the world and get it. And the Libyan government would pay for it. Did you know that? No, you didn't. Did you know that from the oil money, every Libyan citizen got a stipend every year? And did you know that that man had no debt? Everything in his country was paid for. See? Now, when you got a man that did that for an African nation and was trying to do that for all Africa, how do you think Europe felt about that? Well, I was with Muammar Gaddafi when Gaddafi insert in 1999 advanced coming out of the OAU to the African Union with a vision of the United States of Africa. Muammar Gaddafi spent, listen to me, billions of dollars to create the African Union. Did you know that Gaddafi gave $300 million and the other African nations gave $100 million to put up a satellite so that we who call Africa don't have to go through Europe to get to Africa. And Europe was getting $500 million a year just by our telephone calls to the continent. Now we can call directly to Africa, and that $500 million is in the hand of African people. Did you know that Muammar Gaddafi was setting up an African development bank with $70 billion in the African Development Bank from Libyan oil money? That we would not have to borrow money from the IMF and the World Bank at these exorbitant rates. Zero interest under Islamic non-usury teachings. I just left St. Kitts, and in the island of St. Kitts, he was going to set up a Caribbean Development Bank. He told the Prime Minister there, and he was going to put $1 billion in that bank for Caribbean development.
This video, I almost shed tears. I almost shed tears. I know one day we will get not only one Gaddafi, we will get more than 1,000 Gaddafi in Africa. Please share this video, guys. Share this video. Open our people wide. The West, they are our enemy. No die the bitter truth. The West, they are our enemy. Share the video, guys.
The US dollar is basically worth nothing now. Groceries are at an all-time high. Housing is at an all-time high. Shit, even rent is at an all-time high. And if you work really hard, man or woman, I don't care, you deserve more. There's no reason why somebody should work hard and still be in survival mode. In other words, living paycheck to paycheck. Did you guys know that the government gave Ukraine $165 billion? That's enough money to end homelessness twice. This country is turning into a third world country with a Gucci belt. And it irks me that I feel like I'm the only one seeing this and wanting to change something. And I already know people are going to be in the comments like, oh, just work harder, go to trade school, yada, yada, yada. 60 hours a week. Been to trade school. Started my own business. By the way, starting a business is not for the average American, let me tell you that. It is expensive, and a small business is a part-time job, and a big business is an investment, but it takes time to get to a big business. But that should not be the new bare minimum. Just imagine if everybody started their own business just to get a chance at owning a house. Everybody would have their own store. Who would the consumers be? And I truly feel like 99% of everybody is asleep to this kind of problem, because anybody that truly sees what's going on is outraged. The new middle class is making $150,000 a year, at least in Colorado. What do us Americans do? We sit around, watch the Super Bowl. Seriously? We sit around on TikTok all day, watching BS, brain rot. We need to take our country back, and we need to stop those old heads from funding all of our tax money towards wars that we're not even involved in. And if you care about your future and how much your money's worth, then you gotta lock in with me. Because our government doesn't give a shit about any of us. And honestly, I don't think that there's a fighting chance for any of us to see retirement. I know that they say we're raising the age to 70, which is horrendous. Okay, Nikki Haley, horrendous. But I don't even think we're gonna be able to retire. The way the system is set up currently is to have every American living paycheck to paycheck in debt. I've been trying for months to start a movement, but it either gets not enough recognition, nobody cares, nobody believes that something is wrong with the United States. You know, I'm 23. The younger generation needs to stand up, because the older generation has zero idea what's going on. And they truly think that there's nothing wrong with America. Why is a single family house $350,000? One bed, one bath. $350,000? That should be under $100,000. Do you get me? Why has housing gone all the way through the roof and the average American income has gone down?
What don't you understand, sir?
I don't understand what jurisdiction are you operating up under. I have the right to know. And are you denying me my right to know what jurisdiction are you operating up under? Because it is your constitutional oath to let me know what jurisdiction it is that you are operating up under. And you still have not yet given me my right.
This is the 34th District Court, Mr. Michaud.
That's not a jurisdiction. That's not a constitutional jurisdiction, ma'am. Is this common law or amity? Is this criminal or civil?
It's a criminal case, sir.
Okay, if this
It's
is
a criminal case where it's alleged that you were a felon in possession of a firearm and that you carried a concealed weapon. That's count 2. And then count 3, felony firearm. Those are the allegations. I've given you the 3 counts in this matter. I've given you the date of the offense, and I've given you the location of the offense. We can do one of 3 things this morning, sir. We can adjourn the PCC, we can schedule the exam, or you may waive the exam. Which would you like to do this morning?
I want to have my rights given to me, and my right is to have the jurisdiction of the court. That's just for the record.
I've already indicated to you, sir, what the court is.
Is this common law or amity? That's the only jurisdictions that we can, that I know of. You still haven't acknowledged neither one, and I still don't understand what's going on. Until you acknowledge one or the other, we still haven't got jurisdiction on the record.
Mr. Michaud, do you intend to represent yourself in this matter going forward?
I would like to know jurisdiction so I can properly proceed to present myself properly. I can't properly present myself or defend myself without knowing what jurisdiction that you're operating upon. And you said it was criminal, so if it's criminal, then for a crime to exist, there must be an injured party, a corpus delicti. There can be no sanction imposed or penalty imposed on one because of this constitutional right. So if this is a criminal, where is the injured party? Who have I injured? I have the right to face my accuser, face the one who is bringing these allegations against me, ma'am.
Mr. Michaud, if you wish to be able to defend yourself and hear witnesses against you, the court is happy to schedule the exam. Is that what you're asking, Mr.?
No, as I appointed you as my trustee, I demand that you dismiss these actions for no corporate select tie, no proper jurisdiction, for no proper crime. Injured party.
Mr. Muhammad, your response to Mr. Michaud's request that this case be dismissed.
Judge, the people's position is we would object to dismissing this case on the basis of lack of jurisdiction. As you mentioned earlier, this crime did occur in the county of Wayne, and thus we do have jurisdiction.
There is no jurisdiction without an injured party, for the record. So I would like to face the injured party, for the record.
And Judge, my response is, then we should then I believe we should set this for a preliminary exam.
I object to that, ma'am. You cannot proceed without jurisdiction being provided on the record. And you being my trustee, for the record, ma'am, you have to dismiss this case as I demand, for the record.
Your request to have this matter dismissed is denied. Mr. Michaud, my question will remain the same. Would you wish the court to schedule an exam? Do you wish to waive that exam and have your case bound over to Third Circuit Court, Frank Murphy Hall of Justice? Or do you wish to adjourn the PCC? Those are your options this morning, sir. They're going to stay the same.
I would like for jurisdiction to be provided for the record, and that if not, I demand dismissal, for the record.
This case will not be dismissed, sir. Would you like the exam scheduled? Would you like to waive the exam, or would you like to adjourn the PCC?
Again, jurisdiction for the record. You cannot proceed without, when once jurisdiction is challenged, again, the court cannot proceed when it clearly appears that the court lacks jurisdiction. The court has no authority to reach matters, but rather should dismiss the action. That is Mello versus U.S.
Mr.